In the early hours of October 7, 2023, Israelis awoke to what would become the deadliest attack on their soil in decades. It marked a new chapter in the long and painful conflict between Israel and Palestine, a chapter drenched in blood, fear, and historical trauma. To understand why this happened and why it keeps happening, we must go back, far back, to the roots of a struggle defined by land, identity, and ideology. At approximately 6:30 a.m., Hamas, a Palestinian militant group, launched an unexpected and large-scale assault on Israel. The attack resulted in the tragic loss of around 250 Israeli lives, with over 1,500 more injured. And in response, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu declared, "We are at war, not an operation, not a round, a war." As rockets flew and violence escalated, the world once again turned its attention to the long-running conflict between Palestinians and Israelis. For many, the question arises, how did it come to this? The historical backdrop. To grasp the modern conflict, we must first look to the late 19th century, during the rise of Zionism, a nationalist movement calling for a Jewish homeland in Palestine. At the time, Palestine was part of the Ottoman Empire and later came under British rule following World War. The Balfour Declaration of 1917, which supported the creation of a Jewish national home and increasing Jewish immigration, created deep tensions with the Arab population already living there. These tensions laid the groundwork for decades of violence, displacement, and mistrust. Two peoples, two ideologies. The divide is more than territorial. It is deeply ideological. Zionism, Israel's founding ideology, views Judaism not just as a religion, but as a national identity. Supporters believe that Jews have the right to self-determination in their ancestral land, modern-day Israel. In contrast, Palestinian resistance, particularly that represented by Hamas, emerged in reaction to decades of occupation and perceived injustice. Founded in 1987 during the First Intifada, Hamas evolved as an offshoot of the Muslim Brotherhood. Its charter has historically called for the destruction of the Israeli state and frames its struggle as a religious duty. Cycles of retaliation. Following the October 7th attack, Israel launched a severe military response in Gaza. By October 11th, over 1,000 Israelis, including foreign nationals, had been confirmed dead. On the Palestinian side, the Gaza Ministry of Health reported more than 900 fatalities, with at least 4,250 wounded, many of them women and children. Sadly, these numbers are not final. As hostilities continue, the death toll rises. Homes are turned to rubble, families torn apart, futures shattered. And amid it all, ordinary civilians, people like you and me, pay the ultimate price. The bigger picture. This is not a new war. It is the latest surge in a cycle of violence that has lasted more than a century. The Six-Day War in 1967 saw Israel take control of the West Bank, East Jerusalem, and Gaza, lands Palestinians consider essential for a future state. The continued Israeli occupation and settlement expansion have only deepened the conflict. Violence, ceasefires, negotiations, and then more violence. The cycle repeats. So, who's to blame? Which side is right? Which deserves support? Maybe the better question is, who suffers most? It's the civilians, the parents, the children, the elderly, who lose their homes, their futures, and their lives. Both Palestinians and Israelis want peace. Both dream of a land where they can live without fear, without bombs, without grief. We must learn to support people, not politics. We must remember that peace isn't about choosing sides, it's about choosing humanity. Only then can this better chapter in human history finally begin to close.